I'm Rebecca. I'm the Vice President of Education here with Simply Organic Beauty. It's a wonderful holistic hair tribe I feel a part of, and I'd like to go ahead and introduce you now to my guest artist, to Browne. I'm going to unmute her so she can say hello to all of you. Hello, Tu. How are you today?
I'm good, Rebecca. How are you?
All right. We're excited to have you. Thanks for joining us in your busy schedule.
Thank you for having me. I love being part of this.
I am so thrilled today. I'm going to learn a lot from you today. I know that you have really grown, and I just kind of want to introduce you to the Holistic Hair Tribe that's joining us today live. Tell us a little about yourself. I put some of your attributes on the screen here, but tell us, because you're really something else. You like are the major mentor out there that I've known.
Oh, thank you. Well, hi everyone. I'm excited to see that you all are here today. I can't imagine what a huge turnout this is. It's exciting.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yes,
So I'm the
lots.
owner of Two Organics. I am in California, in Rancho Cucamonga, California. My salon is actually the first green salon here in Rancho Cucamonga, recognized by the city itself. I
Hmm.
also have been teaching for Simply Organic Beauty since 2017, February 2017, right, Rebecca? I think
You
so.
got it. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and I've been in the cosmetology a little bit. I'm just now approaching 15 years. I am also a motivational speaker, and I teach at Riverside City College here in California, the largest cosmetology school in California. Right now, we are on lockdown, so everybody's
Hmm.
doing anything right now. And I just got my second location, which is a suite in Summerlin, Las Vegas. Just trying to get my foot out there to really get to know my clientele and eventually get a second storefront. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm doing right now. I'm excited to talk to you guys about the hair loss treatment. I have been using it a lot in the salon, and I'm glad Rebecca and Simply Organic reach out for me to share my knowledge with you guys.
You
And
act like you have all this time. I don't know how one woman has done so much and continues to do so much in this beauty world of ours. I'm always amazed when I see you on Facebook and she's won another award and now she's doing this and I just can't keep up with you.
it's the exercise, Rebecca.
I see that. I don't know where you find the time. So in 24 hours, she was all of a sudden over opening a new location. So I don't know.
Thank you, Rebecca. You know, it's what's going on right now. I can't sit around. You know, some people sit around and they feel sorry for themselves, and I just take it and run with it, the
I
opportunity.
know. Well, we're all winning from that. So thank you. I mean, you're invaluable to how you help others grow and so we'll talk a little bit more about that here shortly. I just really am inspired by you and how you're constantly on the move and you're focused and you don't let anything stop you. So it's really great to have a woman out there that's really pushing it. And I just wanted to ask you what brought your focus into how did you begin even going in this direction with green beauty and looking at adding hair loss treatments and whatnot to your salon life?
Well, the Green Beauty opening a green salon first of all was, uh, you know, I'm sure over the years you've heard my story. I was going through a divorce and I was having a hard time trying to figure out how I was going to get through it with my ex-husband. Leaving me when I was 4 months pregnant, or basically me leaving him when I was 4 months pregnant, and starting a fresh life of my own. And my life throughout the years was very toxic, meaning I was not leading the type of lifestyle that I wanted to live. So when I was getting my divorce, I decided to change my lifestyle. And the way of changing my lifestyle was basically trying to be green and bringing in the more organic products into my life. Um, So with that, I decided to just dive into the organic, and that's when I ended up finding Oway, Simply Organic, through you guys.
Mhm.
Um, with that, while I was at business school, I focused all my attention to these products and trying to understand what this product means. And surprisingly enough, I found out that I was the only one here in Rancho Cucamonga that is fully going that route, green.
Mhm.
So I took it and I ran with it. And as I started using the products in the salon, most of my clients, I started to notice their hair problems. And they will come in and they will tell me what's going on with their hair and how it started. And so I started to do more research, started to learn more what the problem is, what's going on.
Mhm.
Is this genetics, or is this
Mhm.
just stress, or is this, so that's how I really ended up getting into it. And now I focus more on it because of the number of clientele that I have that
Mhm.
experience these problems.
And once you started focusing on that, I know you got really addicted to helping to not only learn it for yourself, but educating yourself on all of it. You did a lot of research on your own, and then, what ends up happening, I've seen through you, is that building your clientele because people were just attracted to finding you and wanting to know more. And so um, I'm going to go to the next slide here and start talking to you about how you've worked this trichology and scalp analysis into your business. I'm showing the Trichoderm Profiler here that we just launched from Oway, and it's the newest one. So it's the updated version, and I know you've had an opportunity to kind of play with that.
Yes.
But really, when you started to bring this into your salon and telling us about, I know that from the naked eye, when you're first looking at the scalp and assessing everything, you can hear some of the symptoms or the concerns that the clients have, but actually looking at it at this magnification has really, I know, changed it all for me. And it's unbelievable when you can see something so close up and you think it's one thing versus another thing, and we'll get a little deeper into that. But you've started playing with this tool as well, right?
Yes, I have. And when I started playing with it, I realized that it's not only hair loss. There's
Mm-hmm.
excess sebum, there's dandruff,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many other things with it that you can't see with the naked eye.
Mm-hmm.
So having this tool made my clients really understand what is going on with their hair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because before I can look at it, but they don't see what I'm looking at. But now with
Right.
me giving them the phone, and them seeing exactly what I'm seeing, it has opened a whole new experience to them. Now they know what their hair looks like, what they need to focus on. So people are like insane when I give them this phone and I'm analyzing their scalp. They're like, "Oh my God, is that what my hair looks like? Is that what my scalp look like?" So it really becomes, not only are they also really getting into it to know what the problem is and how we can solve it, but they never really even knew something like this existed. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you see the tricho, you're probably thinking at a dermatologic, at a
Right.
doctor's office or something like that. So for a stylist to have it in the salon is like really a plus. It really does boost your business. At the same time, it boosts whatever it is that you're trying to sell to the client for them to really see it. So it makes you an expert, and the confidence is there. It really does build your confidence.
Yeah.
So
And their confidence in you, because they're seeing it firsthand.
exactly, exactly. So and then we were able to pinpoint the problem, the issue, and then when you're recommending products and recommending services and what they need to do,
Mm-hmm.
they see what the problem is,
Right.
and then they follow you, because some people, it's really hard for them to believe what you're telling them. except if they see it with your naked eye. Um, so it has been a win-win for all of us, me, the stylist, and the clients as well.
Right, right. And we'll go deeper into what we're actually looking for and how we trained ourselves to work with the trichoderm and to know what we're working with. Because as you said, the crazy part is you can hear that someone's having, hair loss, and the fact that there's so many reasons why, scalp conditions can all lead to hair loss. And if we just jump in and start treating it for the hair loss and not knowing, that it's something else, so this helps us to really focus in on that and do the proper treatments that they need versus just, sell. But
Right.
so it's really changed my business as far as being, um, accountable and actually giving them the service that they're known to expect, and then seeing the results after. So we'll jump into that a little bit later. But tell me, when working with the OA ingredients, and I always say that not only are they effective and powerful for being such green chemistry, but it's kind of like the soil. The plants are only as good as the soil, right? So it's sort of the same thing, wouldn't you say, with the ingredients with the OA products that we're going to talk about?
So the ingredients is amazing because again, I've been sitting and I've been being an educator or instructor at a cosmetology school. I don't want my students to ask me questions that I won't be able to answer for them. So I
Hmm.
have been able to even go back in the cosmetology textbook just to learn what the issue is, what type of plants or natural remedies to use, or what type of products to stay away from when
Hmm.
experiencing hair loss, when they're experiencing dandruff, or when they're experiencing excess or sensitive uh, scalp issues.
Right.
So um, I've been going in depth just because I want to be able, when I give this information to either my students or my clients, that I know what I'm talking about. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
not just trying to sell products or move products, but I'm actually giving them or showing them results, because that alone make them trust you and keep coming back to your salon.
Truly.
So not only the hair loss products, any products in general, when you're selling it to your clients, you want to really educate yourself so that when they do go and use that product, you're selling them something that actually works for them, not because of just getting money. So I
Correct.
think that's the relationship that I've built with my clients that makes them keep coming back to the salon, because I'm not just trying to push products on them. I'm actually selling products to them that they need.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that they're effective and do what you've promised them they're going to do over the time. And you're honest with them. They're going to see consistently the results. So, and you're able to do all of that, and not only in your consultation, but at the close too. So,
right.
um, so we in your consultation, what I thought was really interesting was how you not only use the trichoderm, but you have a couple other tools that you're going to share with us as far as when you're first doing the consultation and diagnosing the condition.
Yeah, so when I'm diagnosing the condition, I use the tricho analyzer. But at the same time, what I did was, you know how the book when we buy the product, it comes with this pamphlet,
Hmm.
the Oway treatment pamphlet. So what I realized is that when I'm analyzing their scalp, I bring out this book and the pamphlet, and I give it to them, and we go through the pamphlets together. Usually stylists have this pamphlet in the back of the room. But I decided I think the best way to be more effective with letting these clients know what the problem is actually having them hold this pamphlet in their hand,
Hmm.
and then we can flip through it during the process so we could actually see the issue. So one of my clients, uh, I actually had her hold the pamphlet, and we're going through and I'm analyzing our scalp, and we're looking at the different, how we have how to recognize the skin condition that has the dandruff section, the excess
Hmm.
sebum section, the sensitive.
Hmm.
So when we're looking at it through the Tricoanalyzer, she herself automatically went directly to, oh, that's the dermatitis. You know, she went
Mhm.
directly there. So she knew just from looking at what I'm showing her what the main focus is. So I think that's the most effective way to go about it. You know, having them
Mhm.
hold this pamphlet in their hand while you're analyzing it, so that they could see what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Um, Another one was the first time when I got it, I used my receptionist because she was getting a lot of. She's very young. She's 20 something years old,
Mhm.
and I said, "Come sit down. Let's play with this." You know. So she
Mhm.
sat down, and I put the trico on her scalp, and we're analyzing it. And she was so grossed out by what she saw because because he saw all this excess sebum, you know, or yellowish looking, um, oily, glumpy, you know. And she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's what my scalp looks like." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what your scalp looks like." She's like, "Miss Brown, I don't want you to see my scalp like this." I'm like, "Well, we're just checking this out, you know." So from that moment on, when she saw that, she was like, "What do I need to buy?" And you know, and what type of treatments I need to do. So from that moment on, she bought the products that she needed, and she took it home to start using it on herself. You know, so
Uh-huh.
just having them hold the pamphlet makes a huge difference. So that's what I usually uh, incorporate in my consultation.
Yeah, and I'd never thought of using that pamphlet like that, but it just makes so much sense because you've got the actual tricho on the scalp showing them, and then they have like a reference. So I love that when you shared that with me. So moving into here, it actually shows you working with it. So,
Yes, yes, that this client is my accountant's mom, and he has been telling me about the issue that his mom was experiencing. His
hmm.
mom removed, she, about 2 years back, they removed her uterus. She had a
Oh.
full head of hair before this happened. So she
Hmm.
had her uterus removed, and then right after her uterus was removed, that's when she started experiencing all this hair loss. So when she came in and we analyzed her scalp, you could see exactly where there is still hair follicles that can come through, but she has been using the wrong products. And she hasn't been using, um, she's been using products that are heavy for her hair. So it's clogging her hair follicles. So what I told her is, because she's my accountant's mom, I will do the service for her for free, but she has to be my guinea pig. So what we're gonna do is, she will come in every um 30 days, and we'll do the treatment, and we'll do the pictures and videos. And as her hair keeps coming back, we'll continue making videos to share with people where she was and where she is, or where she's going. So it's, we heard it's all it's like male pattern baldness,
Hmm.
but there's a chance, and if she follows what I'm telling her to do when she's going home, she can actually start growing her hair back from
Wow.
what we
Yeah.
saw through the analyzing, through analyzing her scalp. She can actually grow her hair back. So you guys should stay tuned, because in 6 months I will show you where she is, where
Lovely.
her hair is now.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
got some great before and afters, which, I think is another important thing that you always share with your clients too.
Yes, I always share. I actually have an album here that
Hmm.
I created from the first time that I started doing the hair treatment. So when the clients come in, I take a picture of the before, and I put the date
Hmm.
of the day we started their treatment on the back of the picture, and then I'll put it in an album. And then every 3 months we will reference, we will go back and see where they're at. And from just from that result, they are like, this works, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I always tell them you have to be consistent with it, though. You can't just expect it to happen right away. Um,
Uh-huh.
and so during the lockdown, one of my clients came and I had like 2 bottles of the remedy on the shelf, and she grabbed it all because she thought we were not going to have any more. I'm like, we're not running out of it. We're still going to get more, but she wanted to make sure she had enough products at home that in case of the lockdown, she don't have to worry about trying to find me. I'm like,
Right.
and so you have to make sure they take home products because you have to be very consistent with it. But after we pinpoint her issue, now she's doing what I'm telling her to do, and hopefully she keeps doing as I'm telling her, and then eventually we'll see some results.
That's perfect. And so she does not only the pamphlet, she's doing the trichoderm. And the new trichoderm sets up to a phone, an iPad, any type of phone, and you can actually have them take pictures of it. It's just a simple app, and you can do a little video as well. And so then you can send the pictures on to them, and you can also hold them into your database on your computer too, so that they can see when, in case you didn't have a chance to print them all out. I like the printed out album that you mentioned though myself, because not only can that client see their results, but if you're doing a first time client, they get to see that it's worked for others. So um, I think that's, all about being the consistently seeing the results and doing what they're supposed to do. And it's that buy-in again.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So
Um, the album is very effective because when you show them, they really see all the different hair types. It's not just them; they see different people.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So I know that Tammy was asking a question here, and I kind of wanted to wait to address it until we got to this slide here. But basically, what if somebody shows symptom like 3 different types of symptoms of different things, like we see on the screen here? Where do you know which way to go? Like, how do you make your decision as to what you want to work with first?
Well, I know for a fact that with the excess um, the sebaceous secretion, that is more, it tends to clog up the follicles. The hair
Hmm.
is not coming out at all. So that I tend to address that the most because when you can when you clean the hair follicles, or when you clean the scalp, it allows the hair to breathe, and then it allows hair to start growing. But when you have
Hmm.
some clogging it, it suppresses it, and nothing is coming out, and that's where the hair loss comes in. The
Hmm.
dandruff, you could just take home the shampoo and use it twice weekly, and
Hmm.
then because I've had clients that have used the dandruff, the purifying shampoo, and they go home and I tell them use it twice a week, and I mean twice daily for 5 weeks straight, and you will
Okay.
see changes. And
Hmm.
that's because I've done my homework. If you use dandruff shampoo twice daily for 5 weeks straight, the flake or the dryness will go away. And
Wow.
they've seen that, and I've seen that. But the sebaceous secretion, that's the one that really tends to really clog up the hair. And if
Hmm.
that can be prevented, it can prevent everything else. Uh,
Uh-huh. True. And I
so,
see that in different areas of the country too. Whenever I've done the this class, holistic scalp treatments class around the country, I see different conditions stronger in different, zones, obviously with different weather and so forth, and lifestyles. But, so it just always depends. A lot of times if we have sensitivities like we seem to have here in Florida, or excess sebum, that starts all these other concerns going, a little crazy. So I think it's important to try to figure out what is the true cause of what the other things. So it's kind of like a pyramid. Um, so let's see. So I mean, we've seen different heads of hair that have 3 of these. Let's say, haven't you?
Yeah. A lot of people have so many different underlying conditions. They come in, either they have stress going on in their lives, or they just
Mhm.
have a baby, or they're
Mhm.
on some type of medication. So there's so many different um, issues that will cause the hair loss, or the dandruff, or the flakiness, or the sensitive. So you really have to, that's where it is really important to analyze the scalp, so you could really understand what's going on. And also just ask the clients, what are you experiencing? What are you going through? What's your
Mhm.
lifestyle like? What's
Right.
going on in your life, that, because sometimes when I have clients, they're like, "Well, I'm going for a divorce, or I'm just not sleeping enough, or there's
Mhm.
so many different issues." So it's always good to just understand what the client is going through in their life at that moment before you even move forward.
Well, yeah. And even now, I mean, noticing obviously there's stress throughout our entire world right now with this pandemic, but not just that, but we're wearing masks now, so we forget to hydrate, so our pH is off, so there's so many different little things that are, our bodies are going through at the moment. Now, I did want to mention here, real quick, that on this on this webinar, there is a downloadable option for that portfolio, the scalp treatments brochure that we mentioned too. So you guys that don't have a hard copy, you can actually download it here during this webinar as well. So that's on as a link. So next we'll show you the tool. So this is our treatment cycle for scalp conditions, the analysis chart. So have you used that in the past to kind of figure out what you were looking at under the microscope?
Oh yeah, I've used it. I've used it on males. I've used it on a male gentleman that is really concerned about his hair loss, and then I've
Mm-hmm.
used it on recently my accountant's mom. I've used it on
Mm-hmm.
my receptionist, and I've used it on a few of my other clients that come in to tell me their scalp is itching. So
Mm-hmm.
I've used it in different ways, and try to find out, pinpoint the problem, so that I can recommend the right product or the right service for them. And Rebecca, I'm telling you, I love it because it comes with its own app, which we didn't
Mm-hmm.
have for the first one. So
Right.
you download the app, and then you connect the Trico to your phone, and it makes it so much easier. It's easy to use. I mean, it is so unique. It's in its own way, that it's just um, a really, whoever came up with this idea was just the most fantastic idea for people that are experiencing this type of hair issues. It's
Yep.
really easy to use. It's lightweight, and when I'm using it, people are like, wow, I never knew this existed. Wow, is that my hair? Wow, they are just so amazed at the fact that something like this is here, and they can see what their hair problem is. So it's a really, really cool, unique tool to have in the salon if you really want to focus on hair loss. Because I'm telling you, there is so many people that are experiencing hair loss. Hair loss is like one of the biggest. If you can focus on hair loss, not only would you generate a good amount of revenue in your salon, but it will really make people to really trust your guidance. And now you have to be honest with your clients up front. This is not going to happen overnight. This, depending on the underlying issues that you're experiencing, um, this, and this is what will happen. But again, you have to understand the product, you have to understand the tools, and then you have to understand the analysis that you give your clients.
Yes.
Uh,
And So having this, I mean, like I said before, it's sort of like when you're trying to look at something with the naked eye and you're hearing their symptoms and you start jumping into, oh, hair loss, hair loss, hair loss, and come to find out it's, dermatitis or something that we need to look at first. So this has just been super helpful to me, and I love that it no longer has any of the wires to it. So as well as it can be, downloaded so we can see the true progress for them, because it's all about getting the buy-in from them and having the confidence to know what we're looking at. And now here on the screen is sort of, I'd love for you to explain some of these pictures so that people really know what they're looking at, because a lot of people didn't even realize that there are two types of dandruff, really,
Oh yes, there
starting
is.
with that.
So there's two types of dandruff. So you have the dry scalp one, and then you have the oily scalp, the oily dandruff. So the dry scalp is the one that's flaky. When you comb your hair, you see it all on your clothes, and then the oily one, it kind of builds up, and it looks white and I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of grossed out. When people come in. So that's where you have to decide which shampoo to recommend to the client. So if it's the oily one, you want to tell them the oily scalp is the oily shampoo is what they need. But yeah, when you have this tool, it really shows you. You can really see whether it's dry or whether it's oily. That is very important because you don't want to tell the client to take home a shampoo that's not going to work for their hair.
Right, right.
Um, and then the excess, the sebaceous gland is, it tends to look very yellow. It's
Hmm.
yellow. It clog. It's like when you see it on the hair follicle, it's very yellow and it clumps together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it
And
fills up the whole pore. You can see it
yes.
in that picture there. I mean, that looks mild in the picture there
Oh
from
yeah,
what I've seen.
when you see it on a real life person, when I showed my receptionist, she was so grossed out of her hair that you know, that's that's the type that she had. She was thinning out, especially right in the front, and it was all because her scalp was just producing all these oils that she didn't know how to use and how to get rid of it. And now she loves it because she works here with me and the product is available to her. And I'm analyzing her scalp every 30 days so we can see what's going on.
Yeah.
And so it is really, really important to recognize what the issue is.
Hmm.
To recommend products to people. And dandruff does cause hair loss. You'll be surprised.
Yes.
It does cause hair loss.
Um, Now, the several of these we can also, once we've done the trichoderm profiler and sort of seen the part of what's going on close up to the scalp, but then we have what we'll talk about later, but it's the herbs and clay treatment. So a lot of times, as long as I'm not seeing the redness and the irritation and the sensitivities to the scalp, that might be an opportunity for me to go in and do a herbs and clay peeling cleanser to see if I can't get any of that excess sebum, for example, off of the scalp. And then once again, I'll do another trichoderm analysis once more to see if I was able to lift any of that up, or if we need to go a little further, or if it's actually helped me with that so that I can focus on what else needs to be addressed. So it's just really when we get into the sensitivity sort of family that I really am a little more careful when I'm discussing doing one of those herbs and clay peeling cleansers to the scalp, because obviously we don't want any more irritation to be going on, and that does peel or cleanse the scalp, detoxifies it and so forth. Have you found the same thing?
I found the same thing. I don't tend to get a lot of people with redness or um, uh, irritation to their scalp. I
Mm-hmm.
do have, it's always those that are experiencing, it's the three, the rebalancing, the purifying, and the hair loss.
Mm-hmm.
Those clients have been especially the hair loss. They are the one that continuously keep coming to me. But the sensitive, the soothing, sensitive skin part, I haven't really had a lot of clients come with that issue to me. It's
Hmm.
always about the redness. I mean, the stuff, the dandruff, the hair loss, and
Interesting.
the balancing. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
we see a lot of that here in Florida. I know. So it's something that I've even had issues myself. So I know it works, and I have quite a lot of clients that came with this. From everything from dermatitis to psoriasis, and I've just noticed that not only is it just for the scalp, but for the skin in general. So any of those irritations, this whole system that we're going to talk about works really well for that.
Wow. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the weather
Hmm.
or what people are eating or
Hmm.
just
Well, I think
genetic.
it's so humid too. I find that a lot of people aren't, balancing their pH with the right amount of hydration or water either. So, we have a lot more of that going on down here, it seems anyway. So, and then, once again, just like we keep saying over and over, is all of these conditions can then start this concern with hair loss. So, you see on the right of the screen, anywhere from simple hair loss or thinning to dermatitis, clogged pores from sebum, excess sebum, and then of course dandruff. So we've talked about your professional diagnosis with the new trichoderm that you've been working with, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of the products here in a few minutes too, to actually get into some of those ingredients that are really powerful and from nature that are actually rich in nutritional values and helping us with these formulas to actually help with these conditions. So instead of having to always send them right to a doctor, there are some conditions that we, as the captain of that team, as the stylist, let's say, can help with first. So um, then there's certain rituals. I know that you put programs in place. We've got the intensive concentrated treatments in these vials too, and then we're really going to deep dive into talking about products for maintenance at home,
Yes.
because you could easily have keep doing all of these customized treatments for your client, and yet they go home and clog the pores again with some sort of toxic styling products too. So it's not just about the home hair care as far as shampoo, condition, and so forth, but also what are they styling their hair with. So we'll get further into that right at the end here. But um, so you mentioned a lot about the purifying treatment,
Mhm.
and with the oily and the dry scalps leading to dandruff. So here are some of the key hero ingredients that make this really powerful and work for a remedy for this condition. So you see there we have the rosemary, um, that's going to help with all of the refreshing properties. Each of these are the sebum regulator, antibacterial, antifungal, astringent, all of these things that are actually going to help to purify. And, you do feel energy from this sort of family.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's also at the same time that you feel the energy with it, it's also going to relieve any of the itching or any of the typical skin type of dandruff, while also really promoting a refreshed, clean, healthy scalp, so that the hair can grow if you're having any concerns with the thinning or hair loss. Um, so it just helps to balance and eliminate any of the dandruff from just these hero ingredients. So you see that it comes with we were going to back up here. We have two types, as we mentioned before, which you quite often mentioned using the purifying bath for oily and the
Mhm.
purifying bath for dry scalp by Oway. So this also comes with a little family of an in-salon treatment, which is the pure biodynamic thyme and
Yes.
the purifying rice wax. So tell me about that treatment that you do in the salon.
Yeah. So the thyme and rice wax is usually I use them when people come in for the dandruff. I'll use the rice wax for the dandruff,
Mhm.
and then I will use the tell them to take home the purifying shampoo. So when they
Mhm.
come in, I let them see, we'll analyze their scalp, we know what the problem is. So I mix the thyme and then with the rice wax, and then I put it on their scalp directly, massaging it in there for about 4 to 5 minutes. I
Okay.
shampoo their hair first. I do it on dry hair and
Okay.
massage it on their scalp for about 4 to 5 minutes because um, study have shown that if you massage the scalp anytime for about 4 or 5 minutes, it helps stimulates the scalp and the hair follicles, and it helps grow hair. So I always massage my client's scalp for about 5 minutes, and then I put a processing cap on, and I do put them under the dryer because I want the products to penetrate.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I use that. I do that for about 15 to 20 minutes under the dryer. And then I'll shampoo them with either, depending on which service we're doing, whether we're doing it for the dry or for the oily. And then I'll
Mhm.
use the shampoo to shampoo them with it. And after we're done shampooing them, I always use the um, volumizing root spray, because I use the volumizing root spray because it's lightweight. It's not heavy on the hair. And then I send them home with either the purifying oil, bath oil, or the scalp shampoo.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. And I always tell them, they have, especially those that have the real dandruff hair, that you can see
Mhm.
when they comb. Shampoo your hair twice a day. Some people don't have time for twice a day, but I try to tell them shampoo your hair as often as possible, especially for the first 5 weeks, uh,
Mhm.
because that helps eliminate the dandruff faster. So
And
that's
it's and the in-salon treatment is they're all so easy to use. It's basically just two things in the recipe. So for this one, it's the pure biodynamic thyme and the rice wax, the purifying rice wax. So we have a little recipe and it's quite easy. You can't really do it wrong. It's just easy to, if you do it in the measurements that we've provided, which would be, using the wooden bowl and so forth. It just makes it a nice thin enough yet thick enough as well product to lay on for the treatment. So you do that, and then you, of course, once again, you follow up with the hair bath. Now, I know a frequently asked question that we keep getting is, what would you do as far as a conditioner then?
the conditioner. To be honest with you, I don't. I give them the non rinse moisturizing
Mhm.
uh, conditioner, because
Mhm.
I don't want to give them a mask. It will be too
Mhm. Mhm.
heavy. So I always give them either the leave-in spray or the volumizing root spray.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
interesting.
goes.
Yes.
No,
Perfect.
yeah.
So then we'll move into more of the rebalancing treatment. So this is for a lot of that built up sebum, as you mentioned. So here we have the pH is just amazing for these products too. So that's going to help balance everything as well. And then we have the Amazonian control clay that you would mix is an in-salon treatment with the biodynamic sage. So kind of chat with me about some of these hero ingredients that we work with in the rebalancing family.
So the Rebalancing family, we actually did this to my receptionist. Again,
Mm-hmm.
she experienced that excess sebum, and she was so amazed on how tingling her scalp
Mm-hmm.
felt afterwards. The detoxifying, the Amazonian white clay that we apply on her
Mm-hmm.
scalp. She was just impressed with the fact that when we were done, we did a before analysis with the Trico, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that, when we did the service, and again, it's about the same process. Um, when we did the service, I shampooed her hair and I blow dried it, and we went back in to analyze it again to see what it looks like before and what it looks like after. She was so amazed, Rebecca, that the girl, after she got paid, the first thing she did was to buy the products to take home. uh, because she saw the huge difference that it made to her hair, her scalp.
Yeah.
I mean, because at first I gave her samples, to take home and use, and then the minute she got paid, she came and she bought everything that she needed for the rebalancing, and then she took it home, and now she's using it at home. And every now and then we'll go in and we'll do the analyzing to her scalp just to see what the difference is. So it's fairly very easy. I allowed her to do it at home because I want her to learn it, but usually I do it in house for clients.
Hmm.
Because eventually she works here, so she could understand how to
Right.
product herself. Yeah.
And then, one of the things that we are always asked too is what are the surfactants that are being used in this, and in the natural remedies for this oily scalp or the sebum balancing line. We still work with a very gentle surfactant that's not going to, let's say, strip hair color. It's actually going to oxygenate the scalp properly while also stimulating the cellular metabolism of the skin, renewing it, and then really correcting any of the imbalance. So you need something that's going to stimulate and give it that delicate cleansing action. And so Oway has found that you can work with coconut and zinc salts and things of that nature that are going to help purify, rebalance, and cleanse and energize the scalp. So I think
Yeah.
that's important because people are constantly concerned about what sulfates or whatnot and surfactants are being used. And so we've just gone as easy and delicate as possible for these conditions too. Um, so the soothing treatment is, as we've mentioned, for anyone with sensitivities. These are great for children, um, and then also anyone with like psoriasis, eczema, just any sort of irritation, itchiness, redness, and things of that. So the inflammation can really be soothed through this line. So we've got not only the soothing hair bath, we've got the xanthocrysum soothing gel with the helichrysum. So the biodynamic helichrysum mixed with the gel, and then followed with at home with the soothing hair bath and the remedy. Now, the remedy is probably one of my favorite products that they've made all time because I've seen it successfully calm any type of skin irritation, from a bug bite, cradle cap, psoriasis, anything that's really just super inflamed. So in the helichrysum, that's actually going to be one of your hero ingredients for calming. Fennel is eliminating those toxins as well. So even the most sensitive, like I mentioned, children, this is great for them. And then that remedy is just, it's very thin and goes on the skin super well, so it can be used topically on any areas. So if you need to spot treat and calm any irritation that way, um, they just give immediate relief. And people that have any sort of concern like psoriasis on their skin at all, not just on the scalp, but I've seen it remedy that immediately. And so people are just blown away because they go to dermatologists, and they're constantly giving them all these medications such as steroids and such, and it just tends to actually make the problem in some ways worse, because once you stop using it, you start to get the concern back again. So this really eliminates it. And then you're also, some of these plants are rich in proteins, minerals, things that the scalp and hair are missing anyway. So
Yeah.
I just think this one, and again, the surfactants are gentle so that you can cleanse the skin, but it's not going to be a harsh surfactant. These are from vegetable origin. So, they're going to be perfect choice for anyone with this irritation or inflammation. Yet you don't tend to do a lot of these. And again, I seem to do a ton of remedies for this type of concern. So, well, this is sort of your baby here, the
Yeah.
hair loss family. So I'll let you go on into it.
Yeah. So, the hair loss I've been really known for here in in Rancho. It's one of those things that I have been extremely passionate about it because I really do want to understand the cause of it. I had a client that had just given birth to twins, and her hair was falling out in clumps. And this woman has such beautiful hair before she got pregnant. And
Mhm.
right after she had the babies, they were just falling in clumps. And
Mhm.
he was one of those clients, no matter what we did, every time she comes back, her hair will just be falling out in clumps that it became like we had to go really short on her hair. And at one point, I thought I was doing something wrong, but it really turned out that that's when I really started to do the homework. And come to find out, when you have a baby, your
Hmm.
hormones become imbalanced, and
Yes.
it just start messing with your whole system.
Mhm.
That you At that point, I was like, okay, I think you need to go see a doctor because I don't know what else to do that is
Mhm.
causing issues. So she ended up going to see a doctor, and eventually they gave her some kind of medication to calm it down, and her hair started growing back up.
Oh
Now,
gosh.
compared to others that have come here, another client of mine she was braiding her hair so tight
Uh huh.
that it was pulling on the front part of her hair. I think that's one of the pictures that Oway used for some of the videos. Um, her hair was being pulled so tight that she lost all hair all around her edges. So I told her, I said, okay, you need to stop doing braiding your hair. So she stopped braiding her hair and she followed everything that I told her. And within 6 months to a year, her hair came back full. We just use the
Mhm.
microstimulating hair bath. She comes in, I do the treatment, the hair loss treatment here in the salon, and then when she goes home, she took home the microstimulating bath, the densifying remedy, and then at the time, her hair was thick that she can handle it. She was African American. So I gave her the moisturizing um, leave-in spray, and then
Mhm.
the bio rich water, so that if she feels like her scalp is dry or anything, she could always spray the bio rich water on her scalp. So for 6 months, she followed everything that I told her, and we saw her hair grew. And she still
Mhm.
comes here now for color. We don't do the hair treatments anymore because her hair grew. So but because of that, she continued to come to me for her color now because she doesn't want to go anywhere else and put the traditional color on her hair. So she is one of my success stories. And then now I have an older lady, not my accountant's mom, but another older lady, and she was just telling me that she was stressing out a lot, and so she started to do yoga, doing a lot of meditation, and then at the same time come in for a treatment. She's the one that actually came in, grabbed the last two densifying remedy that I had on the shelf because she thought we were going to run out. She said, well, the products comes from Italy. I don't know if Italy is going to be able to do
Oh, how
products
funny.
anytime soon. I was like, oh my goodness. But so so she comes in once a month and we'll do the treatment on her, and then she takes home the remedy and the shampoo and the bio-rich water. So I've seen a lot of results with these people that come. They are very consistent. They stick to what I tell them, and we see results.
Yep.
Because of that, my hair loss is like one of the products that fly off the shelf because I have really taken the time to really understand what's going on with my clients and learn about the product to make them really trust and believe me that I'm not doing this for the money. I'm actually doing it
Right.
to help your hair grow.
Yes,
And,
yes. And that's so it's crazy to actually see these results and to do that. I mean, I had a woman that had she had thinning hair anyway, and it just did, we colored it, but it just didn't ever look very thick and full. And when she actually got into a car accident and had a scar on the top of her head now. So to make matters worse, now
mm,
we were concerned about that area not being able to grow any hair because there's a scar now. But I'll
mhm.
tell you what, we tried it anyway because she was just, feeling a little hopeless and wanted to at least try anything. So we put her on the microstimulating hair bath and the vivifying remedy for sensitive scalp treatments. And I mean, everywhere except right where the scar was, the actual, all of the skin around that on the scalp grew thicker and fuller so that the scar area you couldn't even see anymore because it kind of grew around it and fuller. So we were both in shock because it was just amazing the results with her. So, it's not always just for men.
Yeah.
So often it's a majorly sensitive subject for women, right? Like you were
Yes.
just mentioning that lady, your client. So we see a lot of this. So, trying to figure out, on a deeper level what it is, like you mentioned, I mean, it can even be menopause, which is where I wanted to go with this nocturnal remedy. Do you work with the nocturnal remedy in your salon right now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yet. I
Well,
do
I've had a lot of people talk to me about it. So I'm going to jump a little further here. Um, because I want to come back to the nocturnal remedy because there is quite a few differences between that and the other two, densifying and vivifying remedy. So we're going to talk about the hero ingredients of the family first, but then we'll make sure we go back to that. So the green coffee is what's acting as a stimulant. So it's rich in antioxidants and it's going to inhibit that 5-alpha reductase. So what that is, and this is what's going to lead us into talking about the differences in the nocturnal remedy. But we see that when testosterone enters the hair follicle cells, it's usually through like gateways known as androgen receptors. So inside the actual cell, testosterone undergoes this enzymatic reaction. So within that, a byproduct of that total process would be DHT, and so that's usually the root cause of hair thinning or hair loss. So when that enzyme of the 5-alpha reductase is present within that hair follicle cell, it's what's converting testosterone over to this DHT. So the DHT is our sort of our issue here. So that being a derivative of the male hormone testosterone, which is what we know as that enemy of the hair follicles on the head, that is also the root cause of not only male but female hair loss. And so the anti-DHT ingredients, such as the ones that we are going to show you, they're in the Oway nocturnal remedy, they are going to help stop thinning at that source, which in turn then just prompts the follicle to really produce stronger hair, healthier hair, a healthier scalp once again. So the difference here is the densifying and the vivifying, they come in sprays, but they also come in the vials. And do you tend to use the vials in your salon as a in-salon treatment, or do you also retail them?
I use the vials as an in-salon treatment.
Perfect.
Yeah, I just
Um, Go ahead.
just just the bottles itself I retail, but the vials I use that in salon
Hmm.
just so I can and then I use this one a little the tiny short ones, and then at the end of the day I'll give it to clients to take it home with them. Whatever I use on
Okay,
them, take it home with
that's
them.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I find that they are easier to use, obviously, the sprays for themselves at home. So I've heard some people do it differently, but I tend to like the vials myself in salon, and then
Mhm.
they're easy to use the sprays at home. And they can do those topically. Everybody, this is just like an area. If they're having just an area prone to hair loss, they can just use the sprays in that area. Um, but this nocturnal remedy, it's basically the difference here is the plant stem cells are from basil. They are what are going in and inhibiting the production of that 5-alpha reductase, or that enzyme that we noted, to be responsible for that conversion of the testosterone to DHT. And any of that excess DHT is really known to be the most common cause of men's hair loss. But, people were asking me, can you use it on ladies? And, it was intended to be used by men at night before they go to bed. It's that resting stage of the body. It's when it's going to help and work at its the strongest, right? So although they always tend to market this product mainly to men, I'm not going to say it's just for men, since women can typically, they may not have as much testosterone as men, but post menopause, they probably even have next to none. So the nocturnal may be better suited for men, but I'm not going to say that it's bad for women. And then age can be a factor in that as well. So those are the primary differences here. And so knowing sort of the why behind that, and a lot of that information comes directly from like the Hair Loss Association too. So there's a lot of great studies from them.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of brings us more into, sort of how you started to introduce this to your clients. Right now being Hair Loss Awareness Month, are you doing anything different in your salon? I know that that's sort of a hard question for you right now since California got shut down again, but in the past, what have you done for any Hair Loss Awareness Month, or introducing it or promoting this sort of, as you're that expert, that guru for this?
Yeah, so the hair loss product is at the top of my retail space. It's right there at the display where everybody can see it.
Mm-hmm.
What I usually do for the hair loss services, I will retailing wise, I do treatments in salon once a month,
Mm-hmm.
and with that treatment comes I retail it for about 125, which is the top seller, 125 for each
Mm-hmm.
service. And then what I do, I throw in the volumizing root spray for that service. And like, before this happened, I was going to do a video to just say product of the month, which is the microstimulating and the densifying remedy. So I'm gonna do that video and post it on social media. And what I have a software, Rosie, that let
Okay.
me create marketing
Mm-hmm.
information to my clients. So now I had already put a marketing together for the hair loss awareness month, and the products that's for sale this month is our densifying remedy and microstimulating shampoo.
And they're
So
all calling in right now wanting that appointment.
so, so
Are
usually
you open? Can you come to my house?
I know, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So right now that's what I'm gonna be doing. When we're done today with this, before I can go, because next week I'll be in Vegas. But
Mm-hmm.
this week, that's what I'm gonna post on my social media, focusing on the hair loss products.
Very, very cool. Now, what would be your top seller then? Is it the microstimulating and then the volumizing, you think?
The top seller is the densifying. I run out of
Okay.
the densifying more than
Well,
and
that
it's
lady's buying you out of stock.
yes, and it's the most priciest on my shelf, and people just grab the densifying more than even the microstimulating shampoo. Sometimes they get both, but the densifying is my top seller.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I was doing more of the vivifying, and that was primarily because, well, again, I'm dealing with a lot of sensitivities here. So
Ah,
that's so interesting to hear that you're doing a lot more of the densifying. So cool.
yeah.
Um, Now you see the little Circola brush there for doing some of the stimulation to the scalp. Do you use that in your intensive treatments?
I do use that in my intensive treatment. I don't use it as much as I want, but I do use it. I have a different padded brush that I use in here because I have a lot of Hispanic and
Hmm.
also a lot of African Americans. So I tend to use something a little more on a stronger side.
Hmm.
Um, but mainly I go in and massage the product in the hair.
Okay.
It works for me that way, and my clients are like, that feels good, you know. So they like
Yeah.
the more hands-on um, when I'm massaging in the hair.
Right. So, so that's important, and those can be retailed to your clients, of course, as well. And then there was something else. I know, I did have a question from Christy that I wanted to back up, and we're going to go through all these Q&As here at the end, and I've got some myself. But I didn't want to go too far without asking you. Now, are you taking pictures of, she's asking, of the Trico screen when you're doing your album, or are you doing styled pictures, styled hair in your album?
I'm doing both.
Okay, interesting.
So I do the screening. I take pictures as I'm screening it, and
Mm-hmm.
then I take pictures after just to see the before picture, how it looks without being
Mm-hmm.
analyzed, and how it looks after it's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I always write the name of the client and the date that it
Mm-hmm.
was done at the back of the so I can always come back to it.
Neat. Now, I have Raquel saying that she was instructed to use the treatment baths only one time a week, and I'm not sure where that came from, but I tend to tell them, as it's certainly when it's obviously, I guess it depends on the treatment cycle, but you've never necessarily had them only use the treatment baths once a week, have you? I
No,
haven't. No.
no,
So I think it's as needed, I mean, if someone cleanses their hair, especially the sebum, right? I mean, like if you're trying
yeah,
to get rid of excess sebum and treat that condition, I mean, that could be,
yeah,
obviously more than once a week. So
yeah,
yes, so I'm sorry, Raquel, that was shared with you in that way. I don't think that that's necessarily true. Maybe it just depends on who you're working with, I suppose, too. Maybe someone with extreme sensitivities, perhaps. I don't know.
yeah.
So let's see. What else do we have here? Am I going too far? I want to see, will this treatment help with hormonal stress that's internal? Hmm.
From my understanding, no, or it
Hmm.
depends on the person,
Yeah.
really,
Hmm.
because it depends on the person because everybody has their own different type of underlying conditions and things like that. So it really depends on the person. When it comes to hormones and pregnancy, that's when I tend to be like, okay, I think you should talk to a doctor about that,
Hmm.
because I am not a doctor and I don't
Right.
want to tell someone something and
Yeah.
then they come back and say two sets. So no.
Yeah.
So hormones are always imbalanced in menopause,
Hmm.
hormones, pregnancy. It's always your body goes through all these changes that let them go and talk to a doctor. And after you talk to a doctor, if the doctor said yes, continue doing what you're doing in the salon, I'll be glad to continue helping you.
Nice. And then they're asking if the hair loss line, like the microstimulating and the spray remedies, are safe to use on maintenance for someone who has gotten hair implants.
You see,
Yeah,
now I've not experienced someone with implants.
I think it's going to depend on the type. There are so many different versions of that now. And that
Yeah,
would definitely be someone that I would share not only the ingredients, but the information, let's say, even in that brochure, with whomever gave them or, put the hair implants in, because I think it's going to really depend on the type.
yeah,
There's just so many different ones. And that would be something that specialist could. And more than likely, they are safe. But that's certainly someone that's doing the hair loss implants would be more inclined to look at the ingredients and know better. But I don't see that there would be a concern myself, knowing what I know about the chemistry in these. But so let's see. Okay.
I
Is
did.
a dandruff remedy spray available for those who don't experience hair loss? Now, the concern with the remedy spray for dandruff is they are not readily available for North America. Anything that says dandruff remedy cannot be sold in North America as is now. So we are hoping that Oway will change the verbiage on that so that we can get those sprays. But we are noticing that the purifying and the rebalancing shampoos, especially the purifying for the dandruff, are just as good all by themselves too. So since we're unable to get the remedy sprays at the moment, I would certainly have them on the purifying, and as Tu mentioned, shampooing twice a day for at least that 5 weeks. So I think that certainly will help. Let's see, virtual classes, deep diving into individual treatments. Well, we have quite a bit of product knowledge online, and unfortunately, Raquel, we are doing as many virtual classes as we can because unfortunately we're not able to get in salon at the moment. We hope to change that up soon, but we have tons on YouTube. We have an education channel now, and special guests like Tu will be adding to that here in the near future as well. So we're trying to keep everything really rocking and rolling and exciting as we can, doing this virtually. So yes, we have a ton of this made available now, and we're adding to this forum all the time. So especially while we're kind of all stuck at home or whatnot. So let's see where else we have to go here. Okay. This is your beautiful retail space. So you saw Tu kind of chatting with her client up close to her retail and sharing with them the ingredients and talking them through how to use each. I find that these are a higher price point than just your typical average shampoos in salon, but the fact that they're so effective and you get the results, the people just, as the lady bought so many of those sprays for you, they're really easy to ensure that your clients are following up on their treatments that they've committed to in your salon as well. So on the right there, you see a refill station. So you can even do that with the microstimulating hair bath. If they bring the smaller retail in, you can easily go ahead and refill it and maybe give them, I don't know, 10% off or something for bringing back the bottle and refilling it. So just a couple ideas of how to market this and how to work this into your salon space too.
Yeah.
Here we've given a suggested treatment price guide. Now that's also included on that download that we have here on the webinar today. So these are just suggested service prices based on, how much the cost for each product is with 100% markup, and then adding service charges. So depending on what area of the country you are in, really this can fluctuate a little bit. And then also if you're adding it into another service or whatnot. So we, as you've mentioned over and over, we do treatment cycles. So they're committed, that, you've gotten that commitment from them so that they can see the true results. And, and that would be something to also consider when you're talking about these suggested service prices. Because I think you mentioned how much you charge for, the ritual or the path that you've suggested for them for each of these.
Yeah, my suggestion, well, it's always worked for me. I always charge 125 a treatment. That's a monthly treatment, and they come in monthly. They get a 125 treatment, and then I throw in a volumizing spray, root spray, and then I tell them in between their treatments for the next 4 weeks before they come, to keep using the shampoo and the densifying at home until they see me the next time for their hair treatment. And that's been working for me. Now that I'm in California, I am in an affluent area where they don't mind paying that price. I don't know where other people are. So you have to really check your demographic to see if that will work for you.
Yeah, and I think that they're so successful. I mean, you're seeing the results, and I haven't ever had anyone even slightly concerned over the cost. When you've got something that is become such a concern as a skin condition, I don't think money is really anything people are too concerned about. If they get relief, it's certainly worth every penny. So, okay, so here's a couple of the results. You can see here we've got one directly from you, and so you can see here on the left. So you can tell me a little bit about that and the timing in between the before and the after. Do you remember?
Yes, that's Deidre. She's a parole officer, and she was the one I was talking about. She was braiding her hair for so
Mm,
long that it was pulling the edges of her hair.
wow.
And so we started our hair. We don't do the treatment anymore because our hair is fully back and filled in. She
Nice.
doesn't braid her hair anymore.
Mhm.
But it took us about 6 months, 6 months to 8 months for us to actually see the hair growth coming. What she did was she came in every month. I did the treatment in-house salon treatment, and
Mhm.
then took home the densifying remedy, and she took home the shampoo and the bio-rich water. The reason why she took home the bio-rich water instead of the root spray, it's because she likes wearing her hair natural.
Mhm.
Curly texture. So she took that home, and then a flux potion just to keep her curls nice and refreshed. But so what I told her is that you spray the densifying remedy where it's more thin and massage it in about 4 minutes a day. Sometimes she says she doesn't even have time to massaging it for that long, but she did what I told her to do, and in 6 months we started seeing all the difference. And so many people are amazed because when she comes here, she get her nails and toes done. So everybody that saw her hair were like, "Oh my goodness, Dee!"
Mm.
They were so impressed
Wow.
that it actually worked.
That's amazing. Just look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah,
I wouldn't think that any treatment, if you could promise me that my hair is going to grow back like that, I would not be concerned about paying at all. And that's a beautiful before and after to share with others that are
yeah,
even inclined to, considering doing this with you. And of course, what does that also give you as far as value goes? It brings other like-minded people that need help with, a treatment path, and you're able to professionally diagnose it and help them with the treatment in your salon. So I think it's just remarkable what you're doing for others, because this is a true give back. And you can see on the right side too, um, the yellow sebum flakes. So this is under the magnifying, under the trichoderm profiler, what you're going to be seeing. And then to the right, you can see how Bailey was able to cleanse the skin. Now, Bailey's another fantastic educator for us here at Simply Organic Beauty, and she too is a specialist in this field. So she's just had some remarkable results too. So I think keeping it simple, right? Too. I mean, like, because overall we're talking about hair loss awareness month, but if you're seeing red sensitivity and perhaps that's causing such irritation and inflammation that the hair is falling out or not grow out of the follicle anymore, or are you seeing this yellow flaky buildup on the scalp, especially where the follicles are no longer able to get the right amount of oxygen or stimulation to allow the hair to grow? Keeping it simple, once you see that, that may be the concern you really need to address,
yes,
to just different types of dandruff from oily to dry. So I think just really people get so overwhelmed with this, thinking that they have to be doctors, let's say. But when you're working with the trichoderm versus the naked eye, and you're having a very in-depth consultation, and you're getting all of these remarks out of your client during the consultation of what's going on with them, what their lifestyle is like, maybe the stress is at home, and obviously everybody has a certain amount of stress going on right now. So how can we make a difference? And if you keep it simple and you see the yellow of the sebum buildup, or you see the dandruff, or you see the red sensitivity, these may be concerns to address prior to jumping right into the whole hair loss treatment.
right.
So I think that people get overwhelmed, and I think just making sure that they keep it simple. You're working with effective, natural derived products as well that are going to help you to give them a holistic scalp treatment that's really effective. So we put up some different packages up here on the screen. So one's for simple hair loss for women, let's say. Then we have hair losses with sensitivities, with the vivifying, unless it really needs something more calming and soothing, like the soothing package. So, you and I have been able to speak at some trico events and around the country. And I just think that this is creating this customized path in a real holistic way. And so before people have to jump on medications, and sometimes that may be the way they have to go, of course, but this may be a way that they can get a remedy naturally and see true results as well. So we've got the Hair Loss Awareness Month kit. We are going to do a quick giveaway. Does that sound good?
Woohoo.
And then I kind of want to run through. I've got a couple questions I want to still get to you, if that's okay. I don't want to take up your whole day, but everybody's super interested in this, and I want to make sure that those that have stuck with us, it's a really large forum today, that I'm able to answer most of those. Now, we will have an FAQs, a frequently asked questions chart, that we will be able to download on this recorded version. So we are live now, but we are uploading some of the frequently asked questions that we've gathered from today and from before. So let us, before I do the giveaway, let me ask some of these questions. So we may pull one of our questions from the questions, okay?
Okay.
So we've got Shannon saying the document says to complete the treatment once a week. Those are ideally suggested, okay? So it's going to depend, of course, on your client and whether they can even book to go in. Now, we also obviously are asking them to, we're sharing the diagnosis with them. We're suggesting in that consultation what they need to take home and what their regimen should look like at home, from styling products to care. So Shannon, I think that it's really going to depend on what your client's able to do and ensuring that they're also doing it at home. So yes, so often would I like them to come back in once a week. I don't know that that's always possible, but what is the commitment value that you look for, depending, of course, I guess, on each treatment too?
Well, before they leave, I obviously before they walk out the door, I rebook them for their next appointment, because before, when we do the consultation, I tell them, is this something you want to commit to? Because you have to be committed to it for it to work. If you're not committed to it, I can't guarantee that it's going to work effectively.
Mm-hmm.
You have to use the products at home and just follow what I say. And after they see my pictures, my before and after photo albums, they tend to be very committed to it. So before they walk out, I reschedule them for the follow up within 4 weeks time. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I do it. Some people will be like, okay, let's you could book me. If I can't make it, we could reschedule, but I
Mm-hmm.
always make sure I schedule them before they walk out the door.
Yeah. I mean, any other service provider does. My chiropractor wants to see me 3 times a week until I'm starting to see, benefits from the treatments. And so it's just like that, so it's all about commitment and what they're able to do. And I think that people that are truly committed to seeing results, are going to book once a week,
Yes.
if needed. So, it's really about what you can cover in your consultation, I guess.
Right.
And so Linda is asking, would you still suggest shampooing twice a day for highly textured hair too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do highly, especially textured hair.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest that twice a day.
Okay.
Um, for dandruff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the microstimulating shampoo, you could do that twice every week.
Okay.
But textured for dandruff, yes, twice a
Okay.
day for 5 weeks.
Okay. And then Diane's asking, with the densifying remedy home spray, is it to be used every single day of the week or only on hair wash days?
I say use it twice a day, morning and night before you go to
Mm-hmm.
bed, and then morning when you wake up. That's how I always tell them to use it.
Yes,
And
perfect.
yeah,
Spot treat, really,
yeah.
So let's see who else we have here. A lot of thank yous coming your way too.
You're welcome.
Um, okay, this is an interesting one. Let's see if we can answer. Any recommendations for clients who are just finishing chemotherapy to help regrow their hair quicker? How do you feel about that?
Well, I do have clients who survived cancer.
Hmm.
When she came in and I shaved her hair off when when her hair was falling out, and then as soon as her hair started growing, she's been using the product ever since.
Hmm.
She actually buy the microstimulating the back bar size, so she don't run out of it, and then she uses the vivifying remedy. Um, so she's been using it from the minute her hair started growing back after her treatment, and she's still using it. And her hair is fully back, nicely came back curly, not straight, but came back curly. Um, and so yeah, she's just been using it, following what I tell her. I don't think she does it every spray every day, twice a day, but she's been consistent with the product. And for her, it's been working. So
Perfect.
and
Yeah.
she's a cancer survivor.
Yes, and I see a lot of that. I mean, it's helping to thicken, and it's certainly not going to hurt. And it's, I've seen some great effects as far as thickening hair. So again, it probably depends on the client, but then we have, let's see, Shannon is asking, I don't know if I'm quite clear, but let's see. Can you clarify what you mean by you complete the treatment once a month or every 30 days? I'm not sure. Do you understand what she's asking?
Hmm. The treatment, I mean, if they come in where I use the products, the electricum and the cream, and apply it on their scalp, that's what I mean. That's the in-house treatment that I
Yeah.
do
Hmm.
once monthly, and then they take home the shampoo and the densifying remedy. So in between their visits to coming back, I tell them to continuously use the shampoo and the densifying remedy. And then when they come back, we do the treatment again. Because $125 is something that I feel like we can do that once every month, you know,
Hmm. Right.
um, and throw in that volumizing for them. Does that answer our question?
I think so. I think so. So then we just got one followed up by Cindy. Cindy has a long one, but it's mainly about her client. So let's see if I can, whoops, hold on. I have a client who loses, let's see if I'm having a hard time holding it on here. Okay. I have a client who lost hair above her ear on one side of the head. She's not particularly stressed, but had flakes like psoriasis when she pulled it off. Her hair came off also. That grew back, but it's been over 2 years. But now she's losing hair again, but without the flakiness. Um, so without the flakiness, you might be able to go in, Cindy, with just the microstimulating hair bath and the vivifying remedy, because I'd go with definitely something sensitive.
Hmm.
And the vivifying is for sensitive scalps. So that seems more so, as long as there's no irritations, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I've got others. Yeah, someone said I get a lot of hair loss clients, which is certain. I mean, it's quite a concern out there, and if we can be the captains again, before they have to go to a doctor, and we can help them in any way, I think it's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
And then once again, you start to get, to build your business that way too, and helping others
Yes.
with such a concern. Um, so can you use the soothing hair bath as a body wash? And absolutely, yes, you can. I have a good client who had psoriasis and eczema all over the body and used it as a body wash for quite a while, and it certainly helped with that tremendously. So a lot of it calmed the skin down, and it was just a really great body wash as well. Um, Okay, I thought too much cleansing will tell the body to produce more oil.
Hmm.
Someone's saying, I thought too much cleansing will tell the body to actually produce more oil, stimulate more. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think each person's very different, but You know, oil is good, but you don't want it to clog each pore either. So, I mean, yes,
Right.
the body, you want to have a certain amount of balanced reproduction of those oils, certainly, to keep the skin and the scalp moisturized. But, you know, so these aren't, once again, these aren't surfactants that are going to be stressful to the scalp. They are very gentle as well. So you're not completely removing all oils. You're just trying to open and add excess oxygen while purifying and normalizing an oily scalp too,
Yeah.
you know. Um, let's see if I see that the place where the clients live has a lot of vitamin. I don't know what that means. Okay, I think we may have gotten through most of the questions. Let's see. So a lot of people are looking into getting some of the treatment packages, and I think it's a great place to start. You
Yeah.
know, because you're going to be able to use them successfully. You're going to be able to promote your business and really help others getting back to a concern. You know, these skin and scalp holistic treatments are such a big area, and we finally have found a beautiful product line that naturally helps to reduce the stress, reduce some of these concerns. You know, so balancing everything out. So again, you know, the hair is only as good as the follicle that you have, and just like plants are only as good as the soil that they're created from.
Yeah.
So, you know, a healthy scalp is healthy hair and a healthy person, right?
Right.
So let's see. I think the one thing that I've got a couple little throwbacks. Okay, so through this, if you guys have just tuned in and missed any of this, you know, Tu has been sharing with us a lot of her tips and tricks on effectively using these holistic scalp treatments. And we are in Hair Loss Awareness Month, so we asked her to come on, and some of the tips and tricks that I got out of this, using the brochure to share with your client while they're sitting in the salon in your consultation piece, so that not only are you using the trichoderm to, you know, assess the scalp and magnify what you're looking at, sharing that with them, um, giving them an after treatment care um, ritual, so they take home the proper products and they know what they're using and what's, you know, or do you need to get them a water bottle, you know, with your salon logo on it so that they remember to hydrate. You know, being honest about the results and showing albums of your work, and keeping, you know, keeping a close look on how you've achieved these results and what, you know, what they need to do to keep it consistent, making sure they rebook the treatments with you because they're committed to the whole process as well. And I think that something that I'm going to make you talk one last piece about is, you know, mentoring others. You know, you have a very successful business out in California, and you have really taken a lot of the stylists that are going to cosmetology school under your wing and treating them in this manner of holistic scalp treatments and ways to that they can benefit. And, you know, it's really seemed to have been a win-win for you helping others grow, right?
It has been a win-win for me, because me being an educator and an instructor at a huge cosmetology school, I have seen my students where they're just coming out of school and they're just coming, just knowing the basics to get through their state board exam. And
Mm-hmm.
then after that, they are like lost, you know, they don't
Yeah.
know where to go. So that's where, you know, from being from watching them while we're at school, and I'm seeing those that, because there are some that you will take under your wings, and then there are some you're like, oh no, I'm not gonna have anything to do with you. But you know, you have to be able to give them a chance to grow personally and as hairstylists. So when I take these girls on, there have been a lot of girls come and go through the I'll be here, what, 4 years now, almost. October will make it 4 years, and I've had a lot of girls come in, learn from me, and then leave, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, they've worked for me, and I keep them on payroll, and then when they're ready to leave, they leave. I don't take anything personal. I do tell them that, you know, if you want to provide healthier products for your clients, this is the company. I always share organic whey products with them, and I always share where to get it. And so that if ever they decide they want to go the organic route, this is where to get it from. So
Mm-hmm.
I mentor them and I show them how to use the products, and I show them how to grow their businesses if they want to grow businesses later on down the line. You don't ever want to hold them prisoner or think that
Mm-hmm.
they are yours or they belong to you just because you're mentoring them. No,
See,
you
and
want to.
that's so huge in our industry too. I see it all the time. You know, you grow people, you help them learn, you help them, learn about our entire industry, and then they fly, and we just get so personally attacked by that. And we, seeing how you've educated others, you let them fly, how they
Yes,
benefit. You're only benefiting by helping others grow, and they've given them the training. And all in all, I mean, that's a super special way to be in this industry, especially now. And
yeah,
so I totally thank you for that. And, I think it's a magnificent thing you're doing to share with our industry. And I appreciate you very much.
thank you. Thank you.
Um, we've got the final question here that I'm seeing, and I think it's a big one because it's definitely in our FAQs that we'll be able to have them download. And it's, can you get a treatment and a color service on the same day?
No, I always tell my clients to um, do the scalp treatment first before we do
Hmm.
the color,
Hmm.
or the other way around. But I don't ever do them both the same day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one more that's in our FAQs. Will medications affect the outcome of the treatments?
Yes, medication does. I know for a fact blood pressure medication affects the fading of the color,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
then it does affect the treatment. Blood pressure or cancer medications, yes, they do affect the hair loss treatments.
Do you think that water can affect hair loss, like hard water?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Raquel is wanting you to teach her some virtual classes here, so we're gonna have to set you up with her. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of that. So we've got a lot of really great information. We're gonna we'll keep answering these questions as we close here. But a lot of these will be covered in our FAQs downloadable. So if I haven't gotten to any of your questions, feel free to download the FAQs or to reach out to us. Because, will you please share all of your handles for social media, please?
Okay, so I'm at Instagram at twoorganics.com, Two Organics Salon and Spa.
And that's
Facebook,
TU.
yes, TU
Okay.
Organics Salon
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
And on Facebook, we are at Two Organics Salon and Spa. Twitter, the same thing, Two Organics. And
Mm-hmm.
then LinkedIn at Two Organics Salon and Spa as well. So
Great.
we're all over the place. All you gotta do is Google Two Organics.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure you've got a lot of your final results on there too, and all the progress that you made. I think you have some great before and afters on a lot of those different media platforms. So, if you guys have questions, please find her. She's one of my special educators over in California, and we just look forward to being back together and able to offer additional education. But in the meantime, I'm sure, if you have questions, she's a breath of, fresh knowledge, and just an amazing person to get to know. So I always put one of the biggest smiles that I get on my face. So once you guys see her or connect with her on any of these platforms, one of the ways that I happen to know that she reduces her own stress is not only by working out, but by
Dancing.
dancing. So you will see her cleaning her salon, dancing, and they just will put such joy in your day. So once you guys connect with her, not only ask her your questions, but have some fun with her, because she's a true joy, and just super thankful that I have her in my life and that I've gotten to learn from her myself. So Anybody that has any questions today, we are going to do one giveaway. So do you want to come up with the question? And then I'll just, whoever answers it first in the questions box, I can tell who's the winner. So, Tu, you want to ask him a question from our day?
Yes. So, what time do you think? How long do you think you want to leave out for consultation for your clients?
That's a good one. All right, type it in the box. Let's see what we come up with. Oh wow, people were fast. Okay, I've got. And what are you going to tell me your answer will be so I can pick the right who we're picking today? Because I'm going to give a few things away.
I leave out 30 minutes.
All right, so I've got my first one at 30 minutes. Belinda Fleming. So Belinda, you are going to get a little special prize today. I'm going to send you something fun. And two, I'm going to ask you to do one more because I always love to get in trouble by my boss and give more than one gift away on a webinar. So you're up next. Second question.
Okay. So, second question. So let me see. I'm coming. One of the questions was, do we have, one of the questions that I want to ask is, do you have information for your clients to take home?
Aha. And if so, oh, yes. So I'm going to make this a little harder. So yes, the answer is yes, but if someone could type in what one of her favorite tools is that she could share with her people. And the hint is, oh, there we go. Okay. And that one is going to be Tashara Tucker. Thank you, Tashara. So your account manager will be getting with you to get your gift out when I'm closing here on this webinar. So Tu, any final remarks you want to say before we get out of here today? Let you get back to doing your beautiful dancing.
Just be honest with your clients. Whatever you're doing, don't push products on them because you want to make sale or because you want to make revenue. Make sure when you're selling products to your clients, you're actually selling products to them that's going to benefit them and that's going to help them out, solve whatever issues that they're going through, because that's going to let them stay loyal with you, and they will always come back if you're honest with them.
Yep.
That's
sort of like that old, if you do everything with your best intention, you can't go wrong. And if you do everything authentic, it will come back, right?
Yes, that's it.
Well, I so appreciate you. I wish I was with you in person, but hopefully we can soon do that and I can see your new location. So thank you for all your time today.
You're very welcome. You are
A million people are thanking you, sending you love too. So you guys got to check out our dancing. We're going to dance out here now. And I thank all of you for your time. Please don't hesitate to reach back out to us and we'll connect you with Tu if you needed her handles once again. I'm Rebecca Gregory, Vice President of Education, and we look forward to bringing you so much more education virtually, in person, whatever, so that we can share this natural love with you all the way. So thank you, Holistic Hair family. We look forward to more together. Have a great rest of your Monday and happy Hair Loss Awareness Month.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will be checking in with you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, love.
Bye.